Hi Darshan, Kishore, Srishti, Varshini, Vinnavan, Yashas. Good evening, all of you. What, you had maths class before this?
No, ma'am, only for Pranati.
Only for Pranati, huh? What's special, Pranati? What's going on? Oh, she left, I think, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Varshini, I don't think so I can complete the whole chapter because it becomes very much fast and you cannot learn everything at once. So, it will be a little bit difficult for you to others to understand because the topic has already been done. To some extent only I can complete. Is it fine?
It's okay, ma'am.
Okay. But anyway, next class when you're coming across, we'll be completing the topic most probably because there's a lot to understand. And in today's class, I have something nice to watch also, and we're going to learn something newly from that particular video. So remember last class what we were studying, or you forgot?
We remember, ma'am.
What did we start with?
Resource and development.
Resource and development, okay. So we ended up with few sets of questions. Is there any doubt till whatever we have done?
No, ma'am, no doubt.
No doubt. Just wait. Let me take the topic. Others, Vinnavan, Kishore, Darshan, Srishti.
Yes, ma'am.
Understood? No, till what we have done till there you have understood, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We finished with respect to reserves. And I hope all of you know what is the meaning of it. It is present, but we are not utilizing presently now. And we are saying that we can use it for the future. That is called as reserves. So that's what we ended up. So I'm going to start with what is called as development of resource. What is meant by development of resource? What happens? All that we're going to study. So directly we'll go to the notes part.
Ma'am, are these boys speaking up, ma'am? Replying, right?
Vindavan has to speak. Darshan has to speak. I have to force them to talk. Kishore is fine now. Kishore is fine.
Yes,
now they have to interact.
Vinnavan and Vinnavan, please. Darshan, you also, man. Please
need
reply
to
in the
interact.
class. Yes, teachers can't keep can't keep calling your names so many times. Please, okay.
Okay, now let us start the topic. Development of resource is what we are going to start. Now you already know what is meant by resource. What is resource? Can anyone tell me?
Ma'am, everything that is available to us by the nature, ma'am.
Okay, so everything is available to us by the nature. Can I say it is free?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am,
so
which we
if
get,
it is, go ahead.
only which we get without any work, which we get freely.
Freely, okay. So you are getting freely, I am getting freely, everyone is getting freely. Can we use it to the maximum extent? If we use it to the maximum extent, what do you think is going to happen is my question.
Ma'am, the resources get depleted, ma'am, and future generation may not get full resources, ma'am.
Okay, so you agree with it. So the whole topic starts with saying, in nature, everything is available that is called as resource. We are thinking it has a gift and we are utilizing it. Now let us take one small example and understand if we tend to overuse any sort of resource which is present in the environment, what will be the ill effect? Is it going to affect only human beings or other life form present among us? So we'll take one example. So we believe initially, what did we believe? We believe that the resources are said to be the free gift which is available in nature. But as a result, human beings use them. How? Everyone started to use them to such an extent that we are started to face problems. So let us start with first concept here. Now, all of you know what is called as deforestation. Deforestation refers to what? Cutting of trees. Fine. We use all these particular wood-related things for building up our houses. And towards the cut wood, you actually see a woodpecker. That fellow is literally lying, almost dead. Now, I'll ask you a question. Try to answer it. Now, let us say you went to your school. You're coming back from your school. But as you come to your street, you are actually seeing some people inside your house throwing things and literally shouting. Now, as you go there, when people are throwing things from your own house, will you keep quiet?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Whatever it is, you're going to definitely question them, right? It is my house. What is the problem? Why are you throwing things? You will definitely question. Your anger will shoot up. Now answer this question. In your street, there are few dogs present. Okay. If a new dog is going to come to that street, what do you think the old dogs will do?
It starts barking to the
Barking? New dog. There will be a fight, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us say, in the forest, I went and I chopped down this particular tree. Okay. Many trees were chopped down. Now, don't you think these trees would have been homes for different type of animal? It might be a bird, it might be a fox, it might be a wolf. Now, when the trees are cut off, can I say these birds and the animals have to move deeper into the forest?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
means they are entering a different territory. Now, what is territory? I will tell you before I go across. You would have seen dogs in your street urinating around your vehicle, your street, and going around lamppost and all. What do they do there is they are saying this area belongs to me. If you cross that particular area, I am going to not leave you. We are going to go for a fight. Whoever wins can stay there. So now what happened? I chopped the trees. These animals went inside. They are entering a different territory. Now, already existing animal do what? Don't you think it is going to fight? Now, in that fight, don't you think many of them will be harmed? Many of them
Yes,
can
ma'am.
die. Yes. So that's the whole idea here. So if nature is giving you anything freely, that doesn't mean that you utilize it to such an extent that next day you don't have it or future generation never gets it. So that's the example of what is called as deforestation. So I hope all of you understood what is the greed that we have. That greed can actually exploit the resource to some extent that tomorrow we ourselves can face a problem. I gave just an example of a bird and the animals. Now, if trees are not there, I already told you something related to global warming. Can I say carbon dioxide concentration is increasing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
If carbon
ma'am.
dioxide concentration is increasing, can I say global warming is going to occur?
Yes,
No.
ma'am.
Let us go across. Now, I am a wood vendor, I mean wood chopper. I go to the forest, I cut down the trees, I'm selling it for different purpose. Or I'm going to hunt animals, maybe an elephant. Cut his tusk. Can you see number of tusk which has been put here? I am importing it to foreign countries and making money. Maybe I'm preparing a gun and I'm selling it for a lot of huge amount of money. I'm doing all this. Now, there will be one particular person to do it. Maybe that fellow is making lot of money out of it. Now, let us understand what your textbook says. Now, accumulation of resource in few hands. Let us say I am the authority. I am taking the complete control of it, which in turn divides the society into two segments. Now, what is it? Economically, if I am taking natural resources which is available freely and selling it to someone else and making money, tomorrow I am going to become very much rich. And those who don't have that particular authority to do something in the environment, you will become poor. So that's what the next concept comes. Economic division takes place if one authority takes the complete control of resource. That's where you have a difference. A person becomes rich and the other person who does not come across a resource and he is unable to export it or make money, he becomes what is called as poor. So remember, one, nature gives you everything means you are not going to utilize it. And if nature is giving you means you are not a person who is going to take the full authority. So there should be some sort of planning done to it. Now we're going to understand what is called as planning in the upcoming slide. Now, did you understand so much? Clear with the content? Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now let us go across something. Now we started to use so much of wood, started to spoil the environment. A simple example, tell me how many of you have at least 2 vehicles in your house? 2 vehicles. Or in your street, everyone has vehicle?
Yes,
Everyone
ma'am.
knows? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
everyone has a vehicle. Maybe tomorrow when you are going to college. Okay. Somebody mute the volume because it's echoing. Okay. So when you're going to college, maybe you might be asking your parents to buy one vehicle. So usually when petroleum products are used out, after combustion, definitely carbon dioxide is going to be high. So that causes an effect called as greenhouse effect. So see, indiscriminate exploitation of resources has to global ecological crisis such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, land degradation. Now, what is global warming? Anyone knows what is called as global warming? Do you know?
Yes,
Nobody
ma'am.
knows. Okay, what is it? Can someone tell me what exactly is global warming?
Ma'am, accumulation of CO2 gas in the Earth atmosphere, ma'am.
Okay, now let me just tell you in much more a different manner. Whatever you said is correct. Now let us say this is our planet Earth. Okay, now this planet Earth, what happened? It has a blanket around it. Okay, now this particular blanket does one beautiful function. What is the function? Whatever sunlight is going to come from the sun, okay, it is going to take some amount of light in order to keep the surface of the earth warm, and remaining amount of this particular light along with heat or UV radiation will be sent back to this particular space.
Ma'am, ozone layer depletion, ma'am.
Now, ozone layer, I'll tell you what is ozone layer. Now, only global warming will tell you. The light which is coming on to the Earth's surface comes, the blanket which is going to be present around this particular Earth is there, that is going to trap heat. Now, because of that particular heat, you have a sustained environment inside the Earth, plant grows, we survive, everything is fine. But every day what happened, human is cutting trees, introducing certain gases, especially carbon dioxide, burning things, so many things we do. Now, let us say whatever blanket was present becomes much more thick. Okay, I'm drawing that particular blanket much more thick. Okay, now if the blanket becomes much more thick around the Earth, it is going to trap more amount of sunlight and sun's heat instead of sending back into the space. Now, what do you think would have happened to the temperature? Can I say it increases? Do you agree? It increases, right? Now, last class I asked you the same question. If temperature goes on increasing, then what do you think will happen to that of polar ice cap? You told me it will melt. If it is going to melt, land is more or water is more on this planet Earth? Which is more, land or water?
Water.
Now, if water goes on increasing, what will happen to the land area?
It will decrease, ma'am.
Then where will we go? Don't you think it is affecting everyone? One fine day, if man is going to utilize all the resources there, this is what the world is going to face. Not only humans, all the animals. That is with respect to global warming. Now, let us take global warming into consideration. I want you to right now remember certain gases. One is going to be carbon dioxide. The one major gas involved in global warming is what? Carbon dioxide. Second gas is going to be methane. Third will be nitrous oxide. I can club all the other things, chlorofluorocarbons, all the other type of gases, even water vapor, but I am not including oxygen. Why? Oxygen cannot trap heat. It will always reflect things. So I want you to remember only two major gas which causes what is called as global warming. One is carbon dioxide, one is going to be methane. Now, did you understand this particular part? So the blanket around the Earth increased because of excessive combustion or cutting down of trees. This causes a concept which is called as global warming. Clear? Any doubt? Anyone? Darshan? All of you followed the content?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, let us go across the next part. Now, try to understand what is called as ozone. Now, when we buy certain specs, now, for example, even I am wearing a specs, do you know this particular specs is not for my eye problem? I say that I am totally working with respect to the system. From the system, there is a light which is called as blue light, which is going to come. When I constantly watch it, my eyes will get strained. So to avoid my eye strain, I'm wearing a glass. Or if I am going to go outside, you will buy a spectacle. That spectacles will say protects you from UV radiation. Or if you buy certain creams which says sunscreen, that sunscreen is saying you what? UV protection. So what is the meaning here? From the sunlight, there is a radiation called as UV radiation. Different types are there. UVA, UVB, UVC. Right now, our Earth's surface has 50% of UVB. Now, constantly when this UVB is going to fall on my skin, there will be sudden change in my genetic material. If that sudden change in genetic material occurs, I will suffer with cancer. So now, why we are not suffering with cancer? We are not suffering because there is one protective layer. That protective layer is called as ozone. So ozone tries to cut off the UV radiation which is falling to the Earth's surface. By chance, if this ozone is not present, you know what will happen? Everyone will have a mutation and everyone can suffer with what is called as cancer. But that ozone has two layers. Try to understand. See, what I've done here is, this is Earth, okay? Now, this is called as lower atmosphere. Lower atmosphere means the air which I am breathing in, breathing out. So this region where we are exchanging different types of gaseous substance, that part of the Earth is called as troposphere. If I go much more up, I need to go in a flight, only then I will reach a region which is called as stratosphere. That is called upper atmosphere, where you are not in contact with. That is the region where ozone is present. Now, that particular region where the ozone is present somehow tries to trap this particular UV radiation, especially UVB radiation. Okay, so where is this ozone layer present? It is present in stratosphere. It should not come into troposphere. If it comes to troposphere, it will cause respiratory problem for me. I might have any problem. So if ozone is present here, it is called bad ozone. If ozone is present in the stratosphere, it is good ozone. What did it do? It cuts off what is called as UV radiation. But humans, what did we do, you know? We started to use chlorofluorocarbons. Simple example, I will tell you. We will use deodorant, right? Now in the deodorant spray, there will be chlorinated compounds. Anywhere when I use chlorinated compound, that chlorinated compound will go to the region where ozone is present and it will break this ozone. If the ozone layer is becoming very thin, then UV radiation comes to the Earth. When UV radiation comes to the Earth, what happened? You people will end up with what is called as cancer. So who did this? Humans only did this. Imagine, if water has to be purified in water treatment plant, don't you think they use chlorine? They use, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Your
ma'am.
deodorant, your refrigerator, even your non-stick frying pan, whatever you use at your home, you know, that also liberates certain chlorofluorocarbons. The flight which is going to move, the rocket which is going to move, that uses chlorofluorocarbons. If these are being used, one fine day, if ozone is going to be not there, all of us will suffer. So concept here is, we might be using the resources which is present around us. So any maximum usage not only harms us and the future generation, even the planet Earth can get destroyed. So that's the whole concept about ozone. So now let us see what else he says. An equitable distribution of resources has become essential for sustained quality of life and global peace. So they say, use the resource, but make sure you keep it for the future so that all the life can get benefit out of it and we will not end up with war all around us. So global peace will be maintained. If the present trend of resource depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is under danger. So he also tells one sentence, if you're keeping on using it to a maximum extent as a single individual or as one country, tomorrow the others who are watching you will not keep quiet, there will be a war. That war will destroy our planet. That is the whole concept. So thereby I can say, therefore, managing this resource, how you're going to manage, you need to have a plan for it. It is essential for sustainable existence for all forms of life. Sustainable existence is a component of sustainable development. So now we are going to study how are we going to plan to utilize this particular resource. From that resource, what all happened, how are we getting developed is what we are going to study. So before we start with it, I would like you people to watch one particular concept and understand what that particular video is actually telling you. At the end, I will discuss. Now, just watch it. I will just play it for you. Did you understand the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You saw what all is happening there. Who created it? Us only, right? So initially, if you tend to see, we had that bulb which was exhibiting excessive amount of heat. What did we do? We changed it. Why? We have to reduce what is called as heat which is being liberated. See, we cannot throw the refrigerator out, but still the invention what we have done to keep something very cold and preserve it, don't you think it is harming our environment? So that's what he says. Any one person or any one country does anything more and overdoes any kind of work, we are going to exploit the nature. Tomorrow, planet Earth only will be destroyed. We are forgetting along with us, different life form are existing. So thereby, now we are going to start with what is called as how to plan, what is called as resource management. What are the different ways for it? Now let us understand. So I'm going to start with what is called as sustainable development. Now let us take an understanding with an example. So sustainable economic development means development should take place without damaging the environment. Utilize, but don't damage the environment. And development in the present should not compromise with the needs of future generation. So whatever you are using, make sure you keep everything for the future generation also. For example, let us take these three pictures. Now I see a person who is present in a forest. He comes down to a tree. He chops this particular tree. He chopped it. He is actually constructing one more house. But he knows that if I'm continuously chopping down the tree, tomorrow future generation will be affected. So now what do? I cut 2 trees means I'm going to plant 3 trees. So by then the next generation comes. What happens to this particular tree? It regrows. That is called as sustainable development. Did you understand the meaning of sustainable development? Use whatever you want, but you're not going to damage the environment. Nor you will damage the environment, nor you're going to affect the future generation. A best known example is if there is a process which is called as deforestation taking place, you will bring about reforestation. Now, what is afforestation? What is afforestation?
Planting trees, ma'am.
Then what is reforestation? See, deforestation, cutting down trees. My question is, if reforestation is planting tree, what is afforestation? What is that? Now, outside my house, is there any forest? No, right? So if I am going to plant trees elsewhere, apart from a forest, I will use a word which is called as afforestation. So anyway, I'm going to plant tree. So we are going to understand the concept of utilizing the resource, not damaging the environment, nor the future generation. Such kind of development is called as sustainable development. Did all of you understand what is called as sustainable development? Any doubts?
Yes, ma'am. No doubts,
So
ma'am.
now this is the sentence which we came across. Let me just mark it in your textbook. Now, where did we study? Here. The sustainable economic development means development should be taken place without damaging the environment, and development in the present should not compromise with the needs of the future generation. Now, if I am going to agree this, then I need to make other people around my house, not only my house, my state, not only my state, my whole country. So there should be certain rules and regulation put forth. So that's what we are going to study next. Let us see what are those. Rio de Janeiro. Now, what is this particular name? If you wonder, it is a place where in Brazil, there was one particular program done where different nations, people from different nations went to this particular place, Rio de Janeiro, where it is present in Brazil. So where Earth Summit was done, the year is 1992. So what happened? You need to remember the year, the place, and what it is. In June 1992, more than 100 heads of states met in this particular Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where they told the first international Earth Summit. Now, what was this particular Earth Socio-economic development. So I am going to bring about development in such a manner that I am not going to cause any sort of damage. Can you show the last slide? This one, dear? This part? Trishti? Okay, my internet is, I think it is little bit slow. Okay, was this the slide you asked me? Hopefully, I think so. She never responded. Fine. Now check out. The summit was convened by addressing urgent problems of environmental protection, socio-economic development at global level. Everyone are going to follow the same rules. If you have followed, you have to sign this particular consideration. Now, what it contained? What is global climatic change? Excessive exploitation of any resources or burning down something can induce global warming. So make sure you're not bringing about that change. Second, biological diversity, meaning now, right now, I might be alone inside this room. That doesn't mean that I am the only one life form. There's a mosquito flying somewhere. Okay. Why did was only held in, no, every year, see, there will be one particular nation selected. There only they will go keep the meeting. So one year it will change. So the first meeting which was held, it was in Brazil. So different protocols you will come across. This year you're studying only one. Maybe when you go to your 12th standard, you will come across different types of protocol which has been taken care. So for now, Earth Summit was held in Brazil. So remember that. Now, along with that, I told you biological diversity. You just now saw cutting down forest could kill so many life forms. That means what? You are destroying the life form on this particular planet. So that should not be done. Apart from that, global forest principle. Now, what is global forest principle? Make sure there should not be any person entering into the forest, harming the animals, cutting that particular trees. You need to put some sort of protection. Maybe what is called as man and biosphere program. People who are staying near the forest itself will be given an in charge. Keep a watch. Who is coming? Who is going? If there is any sort of wrong things which is happening, immediately report it to forest authorities. All those will be included in that particular talk what they had. So all these 100 members who went there, they signed it. The assembly leaders signed this particular declaration, which made sure global climatic changes, biological diversity should not be harmed. We need to control all this. So the Rio Convention endorsed the global forest principle and adapted how many agenda? 21 agenda. So when they signed, they also said, we are going to take this particular 20 agenda and we are going to achieve it. By then we reach the 21st century. Now, what was the main part of the agenda here? I have written. First one, it says you need to protect this particular environmental damage. Okay, first thing, environment damage should be protected. Second, fight poverty. Diseases through global cooperation. If one place has got some problem, other nation come together, support them, overcome them. Economically, if they are weak, you should be supporting them. When time comes for you, we will be there to support you. Next, encourage what is called as local governments to form their own 21 agenda based on local issues. Now, followed with respect to, this is national level. Apart from, international level. Apart from international level, whichever place you are, in that particular place also, there will be certain problem. Create that particular agenda 21. Make sure everyone around you are also going across a normal, healthy life without being affected. Now, did you understand all these points? Please check from the starting. In order to stop us using excessive resources, they came up with the plan. And the plan was called as Earth Summit. Which year? 1992. Which place? Brazil. In Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. That was the place where this particular conference was held. To that conference, who all came? 100 states head came to that particular conference. And that conference highlighted what? You need to overcome certain problem, which is socially, economically based. It also said environmental issue. It is also talking about global climatic change, even biological diversity. Lastly, even global principles. After that particular meet, whoever came, what they did, they signed telling that we are not going to do something harm for our nation or country or the planet Earth, but whatever destruction we have done till now, we will overcome it by when? 21st century. So if we are going to overcome that, you have to follow certain principle. That was called as agenda. How many was present? 21. Out of which I've highlighted how many? Only 3. In the 3, what is the highlight? Prevent the damage to the environment. Second, what you're going to do? You are trying to bring about keeping the environment free from disease through other global cooperation. If anyone is ill, go help them out. Take the in charge of providing food. Make that particular place clean for them. All that comes under it. Lastly, it also says within your own nation, within your own place where you stay, the local issues should also be highlighted. That is called as Agenda 21. So the same thing is present. Let us go across. Ma'am, what was the question she asked? Why, what was India also part of it? Yes, Varshini, India also was part of it. Okay, India also was part of it. Now, what did this particular Agenda 21 actually mean? It was a declaration signed by the world leaders in 1992 at United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. I want you to remember the full form of UNCED, which took place at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That you all of you know. But please remember which year, how many people signed, and where it was held. Now, it aims at achieving global sustainable development. What is sustainable? Use it, make sure you're not harming the environment, keep the same resource for the future generation. That is called as sustainable development. Now let us see. It is an agenda to combat environmental damage, first thing, poverty, disease through global cooperation on common interest, mutual needs, and shared responsibilities. You are going to help those people who are under very poverty condition, help them when they are diseased. When I am helping you, next time if my country suffers, your country should support me. That is called as cooperating, mutual understanding, and sharing responsibility. Next, one major objective of Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own Agenda 21. So we follow all this. If all this was not there, I don't think so our resources would have been present till now. So we are following all this particular thing. Any questions to be asked here? Go ahead. Let me know if you have any kind of doubts. Clear with the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we're going to go for the next concept, which is called as
Ma'am,
resource planning. Yes, dear.
Ma'am, can you repeat how many members signed this
100
agenda?
members signed here. 100 members, 100 people who went from different countries signed this particular protocol. It differs. After that, when people came to know that it is a very good concept, other people also came. We have this particular global meet taking place once in few years, and that particular global meet will be for certain things. Now, whatever we plan, 21st century, we are going to clear all this means. They will check, did we do it? Next, what is the other protocol that we can come across? Like this, the meet will be happening. Otherwise, we cannot control the environmental destruction, what human beings are doing. Clear? So whatever
Yes,
I
ma'am.
explained
Thank you,
you,
ma'am.
it's here. Okay, welcome, dear. See, here it is given in your textbook. 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro. Whatever I told you, it's the same concept which is present in your textbook. Okay. Now we are going to next part, which is called as resource planning. So that's where resource planning comes into picture. Why we went for this particular meeting? After that meeting, what are we supposed to do? If you're talking about nation, I should make sure every state which is going to be present here, I need to plan things correctly. So before I start with respect to this, let us understand what is a resource. You know what is a resource, but from where we are getting resource, how we are utilizing the resource, what is this planning method meant for? So first I will teach you what is the concept, try to understand. Now, I've given you the concept telling that resource planning is nothing but planning is the widely accepted strategies for judicious use of resources. Correctly have to use this particular resources. It has importance in a country like India, which has enormous diversity in availability of resources. So in India, I have different varieties where I can get from different states. Now let us say all of us are going to have breakfast. I give you a plate. In the plate, what all you see? You see a butter, you see bread, you tend to see a jam, tend to see tea. That's your breakfast. It is given to you. You start eating. But anytime have we thought from where did it come? We are not worried about all that. We are just eating it. But let us now understand from where we get this particular things. The first one, I'm talking about bread. Bread is made up of what? Wheat. Now it is made up of wheat. I need to think about that particular state which produces maximum amount of wheat. Now, which is the place highlighted in your slide? Go ahead, tell me. Punjab and Madhya Pradesh. So from Punjab and Madhya Pradesh, whatever wheat came, it may be even a flour powder. It comes to a factory which is present in Bangalore or near your place. They made bread, they are selling in the market, you bought that. So wheat came from Punjab and Madhya Pradesh. So that's the resource. That two states is our resource. Next, what was present in our plate? Butter. Now, do you know Amul industry? Amul company? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Amul butter. Okay. That is called as Anand in Gujarat. Okay. So Amul company, which was present initially, they bought what is called as white revolution. What is white revolution? Production of milk and milk related product is called as white revolution. If I say green revolution, increasing crops is called as green revolution. So now do you agree? Gujarat has the maximum amount of milk and milk related product. So from the Gujarat, the resource which I'm taking is milk product. So we are using the butter from where? Gujarat. And other state and all will give you. Even Nandini will give you milk, no doubt. But maximum production where it occurs, I'm highlighting here. So I've taken butter from Gujarat. Now, what else was present in our plate there? Bread, butter was fine. What was the next one? Don't you think jam? Yeah, tea also was present. Now, jam means I'm talking about different varieties of fruit. Orange maybe, any other fruit. So I went to Himachal Pradesh, where the environment is very correct for my fruit plants to grow. So from there, I collected the fruits, gave it to the factory so that I get a best jam. Next, if I go to my plate, I see a cup of tea. Now, the tea can come from different hill station. Maybe it is from Assam, it may be from West Bengal, or it may be from Tamil Nadu, that is your Ooty, Kodaikanal, or it might be even Kerala. But somehow it came to my plate. Now, finally, not to forget, the steel plate which I'm eating, it is made up of a steel or it is made up of any sort of metal. Remember, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand is actually very good with respect to this mineral resource. All this was coming from different places. Did Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand give you tea? Did it give you butter? So can I say all throughout India, there are different variety of resources present. In one state, one is good. In the other state, one more thing is good. Now, as a management, what we are supposed to do? If I'm taking metal and minerals from Jharkhand, can I help Jharkhand with respect to some other thing? Maybe I might improve their infrastructure. I might be giving them something else from my place. So in this way, if I am going to manage things, I need a plan. That plan is called as resource planning. Did you understand the concept?
Yes, ma'am.
Why the resource planning comes? Now check out. There are regions which are rich in certain types of resources. You came across so many examples. Butter from Gujarat, fruit from Himachal Pradesh. You came across metals and minerals from Jharkhand. So many different places. But are deficient in some other resources. They are good in one, they are bad in something else. So there are some regions which can consider self-sufficient. I am so self-sufficient that my state is having everything in terms of availability of all resources. And there are some regions which have acute, means very little source. So shortage of some vital source. Now, as a management, I'm going to come across a planning. For example, now let us say, the states of Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh of Madhya Pradesh are rich in minerals and coal deposits. Okay, these people are very rich in coal deposits. Now in Arunachal Pradesh, if I see, they have too much of water resources. Okay, too much of water resources. For example, they don't have what is called as infrastructure and development. So what am I supposed to do if infrastructure and development is not there? So I can take water resource from Arunachal Pradesh. What in turn I can do for you? The other state can help them with respect to building up the infrastructure of that particular place. Next, if I go to Rajasthan, you already studied something in Rajasthan. What did you study in Rajasthan? Rajasthan clearly told there is good amount of solar energy, good amount of sun's heat energy, wind energy. But what was not present? Water resources is not present. Why can't we improve that? Okay, why can't we improve that? That's the whole idea here. Every time you tend to do something, you need to come up with a plan to help the other one. Take about Ladakh. Ladakh is a place where people like to go for biking. It's a very nice place. It's a cold desert. It is completely isolated from rest of the country. But people visit as a tourist. Apart from that, when you go there, it has a very good culture there. Culture, heritage is very good. But it does not have water, it does not have proper infrastructure and some vital minerals. So what are we supposed to do? Plan it in such a manner that you're going to bring about the balance with respect to all these particular places. Now, did you understand? This calls for balanced resource planning at national, state, region, as well as local levels. Clear with the concept? Any doubt till here? Clear? All of you understood? Any doubts? Can we go back, revise the concept, what all we have come across till now? Can I ask you questions so far? One
Yes,
second,
ma'am.
just hold on 1 second. Can you people hear me? Someone respond?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
thank you.
Okay.
I know my internet has some issues. Okay. So now, Vinavan or someone tell me what is meant by sustainable development.
Ma'am, the development should take place without damaging the environment.
Okay. What do you say, Kishore or Darshan? Why should this happen? Or else what will happen to the environment? You need to interact. Only then I will get to know
Ma'am,
whether
can
you
you
have
repeat
understood.
the question?
You told you need to use the environment in such a way that it should not affect environment also, other people also. For that, give an example. Can Darshan give me an example for it?
Ma'am, can I?
You will definitely tell. Let us speak with respect to these two guys. Let us ask them to open their mouth and talk. Anyone? Go, Darshan, you speak. You don't even speak in the class. She is silent. Kishore,
Yes, ma'am.
if we are not going to have a sustainable environment, or if we are going to harm the environment, is it only us getting affected, or give me an example for it?
Ma'am, everyone will get affected, ma'am. Like when we destroy environment, or we do anything bad in environment, ma'am, we may not get oxygen, ma'am.
Yes. Then everyone will be affected, right?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
what is-
Birds.
Okay, birds, animals. You saw a tiger without a forest. Can a tiger survive without a forest? Can a polar bear survive without an land on there? So all that you need to remember. Now, what do you see in this picture? Srishti? Go ahead, Srishti. What do you think? What is seen in this picture?
Ma'am, resources, people, rich people have more resources, ma'am, whereas poor people have less resources, ma'am.
Okay, now you need to tell it in a different manner. If the resource management, if the person who is said to be rich, he is going to use all sort of resources and make money, definitely the person who is investing money will get more amount of money here. But the person who does not have anything will remain always as a poor. So clearly they have told accumulation of resource in whose hand? Only few hands. That few hands will become whom? They will become rich. And those who don't have the utilization of resource, that person will become very much poor. Did you understand? Now take simple example. You people are able to sit in the house. You can afford for education where you are learning. For that you require gadgets. You require one laptop. You require one phone or something you require. Now imagine those people who don't have these particular gadgets, and how are they supposed to study? Definitely they have to read their books. Am I right? So depending upon that, a rich can utilize maximum amount of resource, whereas the poor person cannot. Followed with that, we studied global warming. We came across all these particular concepts. Let me erase this part. After global warming, I told about what is called as ozone depletion. That also we studied. Next, we came across a point says, if the trend source of depletion of few individual continues our country, the future of our planet will be in danger. So we came across sustainable development, made sure whatever you are utilizing by cutting it, you're going to plant it so that the future generation will have it. Next, we came across what is called as the Earth Summit, which place it was done, Rio de Janeiro. Year is important. So this is nothing but a place in Brazil. And in that, what was that particular Earth Summit? First important thing, it clearly told we need to solve all the problem and protect our environment, socio-economic development should take place. In that we signed it, 100 people, 100 major heads had come. Global change should be controlled, especially with climate. Global diversity should be protected and forests should be protected. Then we signed. And that declaration was called as Agenda 21 because it had certain important points that we are going to achieve by 21st century. So in that, the highlighted 3 which is present in your textbook is this: prevent damage of environment, fight poverty, disease through global cooperation, encourage local governments to form their own Agenda 21 based on local issues. So that's how Agenda 21 comes into picture. So we studied where it was signed at United Nations. All the nations come together. That is called United Nations. The conference which was held, it was about environment. Not only protecting the environment, also developing it. So we call it as UNCED, which took place at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The same 3 agenda I have given. Next, I went for resource planning. We know that our India has got different types of resources, but the resources is not coming from the same place. So we need to take certain types of plan. So we took some of the examples here and told for a breakfast, different types of substances that we eat, it is not coming from a same place, it is coming from different place. Then we concluded saying something here, that is, which are rich in certain types of resource, but deficient in some resource. There are some regions which can consider self-sufficient in terms of availability of resource, and there are some regions which are acutely shortage of vital resource. Then we took the example. In the example, we took 3 places: Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. They are always rich with respect to mineral and coal, but they don't have some other things. So let us make easy for them by giving it. So for example, what all example comes here? Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh contain abundance of water. What it lacked? Infrastructure. Rajasthan had well-developed solar system. Okay, endowed means they have by nature itself solar and wind energy, but water resources were not there. In case of Ladakh, place is nice, culture is good, but they don't have water, infrastructure, and some vital element. This calls for balanced resource planning at national, state, religion, and local levels. So why do we have all these particular politicians who are present? Are you thinking they are present simply? They have to do something what is not there in that particular environment. Now, for example, have you heard about census? Census. Have you heard? Don't know what is called census. Nobody hears me or what? Can you hear people?
We can hear you, Mom.
What is census? Okay, don't know means I'll tell you. 10-year once, your school teachers itself will be sent to everyone's house. They will come. They will ask you how many members are in the family. Have they asked? Have you heard
Yes,
about it?
Mom.
Okay.
Yes.
So they will ask. So 10-year once this is happening. So in your family, they will tell 5 members are there. Okay. Now in that 5 members, they will ask you next question. How many of them are working? Okay. Let us say 2 of them are working. How many children are present? So let us say 2 children are present. How many elder individuals are present? Let us say 1 old person is present. Now they take their age. They are around 35 to 40. These 2 kids are around 10 to 21 years. One is 10 years, one is 21 years. The other person is going to be 85 years. Apart from that, they will ask you, what is your education qualification? After asking education qualification, are you working? Where are you working? The whole list is taken. Why? In future, for the next 10 years, we need to do a planning. What is that particular planning? If so many people are present in India, I am supposed to provide them with good amount of food, water, and all the other resources. Planning is required. So when I'm planning here, I consider this old person also. I consider this people also. Now I told one kid is 21 years old. And how many years once I'm planning this particular census? 10 years once. Now, if I go after 10 years, what is the age of this particular person? 31, right? So can I say he will be married by that time? Will you agree?
Yes,
There is a
ma'am.
chance that he can be married. Maybe after marriage also one child will be present. Now, what am I calculating here? What will be the future population in advance? Because I have to manage all the resources here. Followed with that, try to understand one more important thing. They will ask you, are you studying? Where are you studying? Are the colleges correct? If there is no colleges and all, what they are supposed to do? They have to construct the college. So they have to maintain everything. So in local levels, we maintain, in state level, we maintain, finally national level, the overall planning has to be done. So that's why we have different people elected for different posts, so that everything will be in a balanced manner. Now let us go across. What is this resource planning in India doing? So resource planning involves what all? First of all, we need to identify which place requires what. And we need to have inventory. Inventory means from where the resources we can get from. So that one I have to make ready. Appropriate technology. I should also have a technology to extract all these particular things. For that, I require skilled workers. To give the information or education, I need to have an institutional setup. Equitable distribution. That means if I create something here or extract something from the soil, I should be distributing it. And this is not only for one state, I am doing it for the whole nation. These are the main things. But in our textbook, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, even though they're doing so much, but the population is not decreasing, ma'am.
That will not decrease because people know only one thing. When we get everything, let us utilize. Population will be increasing because every second there's a baby born. Every second there's a baby born. One fine day, if the resources are not managed, we all will be harming the environment. So let's see what's going to happen in future. Now, check out. First of all, you're going to identify. Identification is the first step. And next, inventory of resources. From which place, what kind of resource is going to come? I am going to make a huge note out of it. Across regions of our country. So what I have to do? First, I should take survey. What is good in this particular place? For, let us say, gold is there. How am I going to take that particular gold? If iron is present, now how am I going to take it? Don't you think you require what is called as machineries? Don't you think you require what is called as industrial setup? Don't you think you require manpower to work there? Next, which is that particular place in that state? I need a map. After that, qualitatively, what is the amount of the substance I'm going to get? That quality is also going to depend upon how many years I can sustain my living and how many years I can give the production from this particular place. That is qualitative, quantitative, elimination, and measurement of the resource. All this comes under what? Identification, inventory of resources across the regions of the country. So these things are the first step. So you made a note of it. After that, what do? Evolving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology. So I am going to get even foreign technology so that I can make use of the resources to the maximum extent. I have skill, but I'm going to set up industrial setups. Now, if I am going to take you to work, don't you think I have to give you training for it? Without training, I cannot send you to the field. I will give you training. Setup of implementary resources and development plans. Next, matching the resource development plans with overall nation development plans. So whatever I do, I'm giving an account where to the parliament. For what? They have to keep a watch of what is happening. So every time when we go to that particular parliament, we are discussing. Our state head should go there. This is what is happening in Karnataka. This is what we are facing. And this is what we are going to plan for the future. All that. So now what is happening here? India has made a particular effort for achieving this particular goal. That particular plan for matching this particular goal was first 5-year plan launched after independence. Immediately after independence, we put forth a plan. That plan was called 5 years plan. That in that plan, the question was what we are going to do, what all we are going to introduce with respect to this 5 years plan. So let us see what is that particular planning. Now I want you to understand correctly. First of all, I told you, if I am putting a 5 years plan, I should be knowing which state in India gives me what kind of resource. So I should be doing one important work, which is called as surveying the map. So the overall survey I took. In that survey, what am I going to make a note? The availability of resource. From where is that particular resource coming? Is it necessary condition? It is a necessary condition for the development of any region. Whichever region gives you maximum resource, that will have an higher advantage. But mere availability of resource in the absence of corresponding change in technological and institution may be a hinder to the development. So let us say I have the resource, but if I don't have the technology, what is the use? Don't you think? I have a resource, but I don't know how to extract it. Is it an advantage or a disadvantage for me?
Disadvantage.
So that's what he says. Maybe you found out a resource that you can get and you can improve your country. Fine. But if you don't have that particular technology, what do you think? It is going to be a complete waste. That's what this particular paragraph tells us. Now, let us say. Now, when I'm talking about this, did it affect my history? Yes, it did affect my history. Now, when you check out the industrialization in Europe, we studied, right? In industrialization in Europe, why do you think England came to India? What was the source that it had come?
Because there was a lot of profit with Indian spices and cotton
Oh,
textiles.
spice, cotton, and apart from cotton, they came for something else also, no, later. Silk, gold, everything they came. So why am I saying this? Let us go back to the history part. So in history, I'm telling, history of colonization reveals that rich resources in colonies were the main attraction for the foreign invaders. They came as trade. After they came for trade, it may be anything. Here I have given for spices because India is very rich in spices. Black pepper, maybe cardamom, maybe ginger, maybe whatever it is. It was all exported to the great demand in Europe, fine. But when they came, what did they do? They started as a trade. They set up their colonies. They built their fort and they started to say, this place belongs to us. Now, you need to understand, why did not India do it? We never had a resource for it. I mean, we never had a technology for it. Now, people who came from Portuguese, they were the first one to set up what was called a sea route, right? Vasco da Gama. Then imagine how nice technology they had. They had a ship, they had a compass, they had weapons, all that they took and they came. If we had done it, don't you think we would have visited some other place? Did we go? We never went. We were settled down here itself because technology was not there. So it clearly says it was primarily the higher level of technological development of the colonies, colonizing countries, that helped them to exploit the resources of the other region. Where was the first cotton industry set up? Industrialization, where was the first cotton industry in the world set up? Which place did we study? Think. First was cotton, second was iron and metal.
London.
Yeah, it was in London. So their industry is set up means, don't you think they require good amount of cotton? Now come to India. They have an export. They created railway route and all. Did we create? No. Electricity, who created? They. Why? They wanted to do mining. What did we do? Nothing. So that means what? Technologically, we were completely backward. Because the technology was not there, we were unable to utilize our resource. Someone came, colonized here, and they made their own supremacy over the colonies. They took the complete control, even though we had rulers like kings who were under, I mean, we were under those kings, under the rulers. Now, therefore, what is the conclusion? Therefore, in India, development in general and resource development in particular does not only involve the availability of resource, but also the technology, quality of human resource, and historical experience of the people. Did you understand?
Yes,
Clear with the
ma'am.
point? Now,
Yes, ma'am.
this, let us go back to our textbook. Others, did you follow the content? Kishore,
Yes,
Darshan. Now, what all I explained, it is still here. From where we started with here, development of resource we started, and today's class, we have come till here. Now, please remember what is the next concept which is starting here. Conservation of resource. What is conservation? I should preserve something, right? Resources are vital for any developmental activity. But if I irrationally consume whenever I want, or if I am going to overutilize whichever way I want of the resource, this might lead to what? Socio-economic and environmental problems. What was one of the agenda in agenda 21? We are going to improvise what? Socio-economic method, and we are not going to cause any environmental problem. But if the problem has to be caused, what is the main reason for it? You are overusing your resources. Okay, whichever way you want, if you are overusing it, that is what will happen. To overcome these problems, resource conservation at various levels is important. This has been a main concern of the leaders and the thinkers from the past. It starts with Mahatma Gandhi, was very apt in voicing his concern about the resource conservation in these words. There is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed. What is the sentence saying? Whatever you are having, that is sufficient for you. But what is happening to ourselves? We are not happy with what we have. We want more and more and more of it. If individual people think about this, tomorrow we might not have anything left for the next generation. He placed the greedy and selfish individuals and exploitative nature of modern technology as a root cause for resource depletion at global level. He was against the mass production and wanted to replace it with production by the masses. Did you understand? What is that? If industries are producing everything to a maximum extent and sending it to the shops for selling it, maybe one fine day there is nothing left behind. Now imagine petroleum we have been using from very long time. Maybe a day will come, let us say 2050, there is no petrol at all. Okay, don't you think we exploited the resource what we had? We never managed it properly. We used it so much to such an extent, the future generation never had. But what happened? We have our own intelligence. Now in that intelligence, maybe I am introducing an electrical vehicle. But the question is, when a resource is able to be utilized by one person, he will be a rich person to buy it. Can I go and say a poor person will go and buy a Telsa car? He doesn't have a house to stay. He will go buy a Telsa car for moving, is it? No. Then here, what is the resource doing? One person who is able to utilize it makes more money out of it. He becomes rich. What will happen to the other person? He will always remain as a poor person on this planet. Did you understand till here? Any doubt? All of you? Clear with the content, or still you have any sort of doubts?
No doubts, ma'am.
Srishti, I should be asking you guys only, then I'll get to know.
No, ma'am.
Darshan?
No doubt, ma'am.
All of you
No
understood
doubt,
the
sir.
content?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Check this and tell me whether you are able to get all the points. Now, what is this particular point telling you? What do you mean by sustainable development
Development of resources without damaging the
in the
environment.
environment? Okay. Now, who next? Who next? Somebody else should answer. When and where was the first International Earth Summit held? Who can answer?
In Brazil, Rio de Janeiro in
1992.
1992.
Okay. What was that Agenda 21 talking about? 3 things it says. Kishore, Darshan, Shrishti, tell me, what are the 3 things? Tell it in your own words. I don't want the by-hearted terms, what is present. Tell it in your own words. Kishore, tell Kishore. Darshan, speak.
Ma'am, prevent damage of the environment.
Okay. One was that. Something I told about something poverty, poor people. You remember? What about climate and all? Say, forgot so soon.
Fight poverty and disease through global cooperation.
Exactly. So where is that agenda that you came across? Remember this picture. Global climatic change, global biological diversity, global principle. But very clearly, if you go through this, you have the three major agenda. Prevent damage to environment, fight poverty, disease through global cooperation, encourage local government to form either their own agenda 21 based upon their local issues. Please remember all these will be your question. Okay, let us see what is the next question. Okay, we finished this. Why is there a need for planning of resource in India? Justify. Whatever you understood, somebody explain. Go Vinna, when you tell no. Why do you think this planning is required? Vinna, say ma, whatever you know, you say. That's okay if you make mistake. See, so
Mom,
silent.
can I?
Go ahead. Only Varshini will tell me. Srishti, even you can participate. Even you have become silent
Mom,
nowadays.
Ma'am, so that the resources are conserved and to help other states, ma'am.
Other states. And if we help other state or other country, economically, is it going to help you out?
Yes, ma'am.
That's the only point there. Next, what are the first three processes involved in resource planning? Think, what did we do? What did I say? Identification and inventory of the resource across the region of the country. Please check out which place which gives you what resource. You're making a survey, you're making a map, qualitative, quantitative elimination, which is best, which is good, which gives you more quantity. Measure that particular thing. So this is first one. Second, involving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology. What kind of technology you will use? What is your skill? Are you going to set up an industrial setup there? Implementing source and developmental plans. Next, matching the resource development plan with overall national development plan. So you're not talking about only with respect to your resource plan. You're talking about overall plan. So that's the whole concept with respect to what are the three processes involved in resource planning. Next, how are resource associated with colonization or colony formation? How it was associated? What did we write here? Primarily,
Ma'am, through
go ahead.
technology, ma'am.
Due to technology, they had the technology we never had. So they came here, they took whatever they want, and finally they put us saying that this place belongs to us. If you have to fight against us, go ahead. Let us see what will you do. So that supremacy was established because they had a very good technology. So now, others, when are you guys going to talk to me? See, Darshan, Sanjay, Sujan, Darshan, Sanjay, I'm saying. Okay, that's one more student of mine. Sanjay and Sujan is the other student. Oh my God, I get confused sometimes. Vinnaven and Darshan. You need to speak up, guys. Only then I will get to know. See, they're still silent. Why don't you talk? In school, you are so silent. In school, you are so silent. At home, you are silent. You have any brother or sister at home? Will you keep quiet or you will be only fighting with them? You will fight, no? Varshini, for tomorrow's test, whole topic is there for you.
Yes, ma'am.
You studied the whole concept, land, resources and all.
Yes, ma'am, but I didn't understand the Punjab overgrazing, the topic and all. I didn't understand.
You
ma'am.
never understood Punjab overgrazing and all.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Even that, ma'am, in our school, ma'am didn't do types of soil concept only, ma'am.
Yes,
Are you-
ma'am. They didn't do only, ma'am. They gave
Then
us
how
as an activity, ma'am, but we don't know what to
Yes,
do,
they
ma'am.
didn't. For us, they didn't give any activity at all, ma'am, but they didn't explain also, ma'am.
how do they explain these topics then?
Simply they'll
Plus,
read the textbook.
ma'am will read, ma'am. We should mark the important points in that book and we should write copy into a book, ma'am. Points
Uh-huh.
book.
Then you will not understand only anything. That's the problem. See,
Ma'am, really, ma'am, in school only that types of resources completely I understood, ma'am. After that, I didn't understand a word also, ma'am.
oh, see, if you read like this from the textbook, no, it is very
Ma'am,
difficult.
I understood till 21, ma'am. After that, I didn't understand only, ma'am.
What is that? How is the management coming? What happened? All that, right? See, the only problem is if I have to teach it like this, you will not understand. If I'm going to teach reading only the sentence, whatever is present here, you will never understand. That's why we have to prepare notes for it. It's like only then, okay, why this happened? What did it come? What is the content behind it? What is our different state doing? So only when you try to plan. See, all this, they wouldn't have given you examples, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
They
ma'am.
Every single day, whatever we tend to use, whatever we are using, it is coming from different states. That resource, how we are managing, is called as resource management. So all that will come. So most probably I require 2 more class. See, if you are not studying now, you know, when you go to your higher classes, believe me, all this will come. But if you don't know the basics, you will not understand your higher classes. What is called as topsoil, subsoil, substratum, unwithered rock. See, you know that soil is there, right? You know how it's soil formed.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I'll give you
Weathering
small.
of rocks.
Okay, weathering of rocks. Fine, you told till here. What is substratum? What
Ma'am,
is the
it
meaning of the word?
contains humus, ma'am.
No. See, when you stand, you're standing on what? Floor, right? That floor is called substratum. A plant is rooted to the soil. That soil is called as substratum. Wherever you are present, that region is called as substratum. Now, in your kitchen, there is a seed, right? That seed is
Yes,
dead
ma'am.
or alive. Is it dead or alive?
It is alive, ma'am.
It is alive. Okay. It contains only 10 to 15% water in it. How much? 10 to 15% water in it. Okay. Now, if I put the seed in the soil, okay, and let us say the seed has stuck in between a rock accidentally, and water comes in the form of rain. Okay. Now, this particular water which enters, it brings about swelling of the seed. We call it as imbibition. As the seed swells up, it will cause crack on that particular rock. When crack is formed, it will start to wither. And withered rock material give rise to what is called as soil. So that soil may contain different types of substance. Do you know what is called as silt? They never told you that also.
No, ma'am.
Okay. You have mud, okay, and you have water. Both are present. I take a stick and mix it. Don't you get that coffee color?
Yes, ma'am.
But in that coffee color, can I see sand? I can't see. It is so nicely mixed. If fish gills come in contact with silt, you know what will happen? They will die. Silt is the finest particle of a sand that is called as silt. Most probably next class I will try to do it. Only when you see that particles, you will understand what is sand, what is silt, from where it is coming. You need to know the layering. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you. What is black soil? All this overgrazing, something you told no. What was that?
Ma'am, about Punjab, ma'am, how overgrazing happened in Punjab. So that they explained, ma'am, but they just read the textbook, ma'am, and didn't understand about that.
That's wrong. I'll give you one more example. Think about, all of you think about it. Okay. Now, do you know kings and queen? Just I'm giving you an example. After that, we'll continue with respect to next topic. Forest policy and all, why it came, I will tell you. Kings have a habit of hunting. Do you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if they go to hunt in the forest, which animal will make you proud if you kill them?
Tigers?
Okay. Tiger, lion, maybe cheetah, leopard, something like that. Let us say the kings who went for the forest started to kill all the lion. All the lion got killed. Now lion went, can I say they will kill the tiger? Let us say tiger is also gone. Next, after tiger is gone, can I say cheetahs are also killed?
Yes, ma'am.
Let us say all carnivores were killed. If carnivores are killed, who becomes more in number? Who becomes more in number? Carnivores or herbivores?
Herbivores.
Herbivores. What are herbivores? Can I say they eat plants?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If herbivores become more, what will happen to the forest?
It gets reduced, ma'am.
It gets reduced. If forest is getting reduced, will rain come?
No, ma'am.
How will the land become? Dry.
Dried, ma'am.
Then if it becomes dry as the day passes by, can I say I can create a desert like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now try to understand. Next time, if any one of you are watching National Geography channel, there is a cheetah which is running behind a deer. You might feel sad, deer, run away, run away. But don't forget, what is that particular cheetah doing? Maintaining a balance in the environment. If carnivores were not present, herbivores would have become more. If herbivores become more, there will be no plant left behind. If plants are not there, temperature will change. If temperature changes, rain will not be there. If rain is not there, your land becomes a desert. Then where will you survive? So, animal is balanced in this manner. So, if you are destroying the forest or killing a wild animal, you're going to face all this particular problem. Maybe in the next class, I will tell you all this particular content. Try to manage your test for this particular week. Maybe by other 2 classes, I will complete the whole content for you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Others, the silent spectators of the class. Vinavan, Darshan, did you understand the concept till whatever I have done? So silent they are not.
Yes, ma'am.
Speak Vinavan, then only I will understand. Darshan, you? Darshan spoke or Vinavan spoke now?
Winner.
Okay. Oh, Darshan mic is on, but he's so silent there. Anyway, guys, go through whatever I have taught you in the next class. Let us complete of the rest of the concept. Not rest to some extent. So please be thorough with whatever I have taught you till now. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Have a great evening. I'll meet you up on. Okay, there will be some changes in your timetable. Sir will let you know about the timetable change. Instead of Saturday when you will have a class. I'll make sure it will be very fast. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All changes will be there because of my other classes is getting clashed with respect to it. So he will tell you the changes. Okay. So then bye all of you. There will be one more class starting now. So I'll quit right now.
Bye and thank you, ma'am.
Bye Darshan, bye Kishore, Shrishti, Varshini and Minnavan. Take care and speak in the next class, guys.